Welcome back to Return the Disc. This is part 6 of our Friday the 13th movie rundown. And I'm joined again by Paul from Twin Flicks. Thank you for holding that up, Paul. I forgot my copy. I think Jason has it.
Just in case they didn't know what we're talking
But
about.
we're talking Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. And I'm going to start with my out of context first time watch rundown that will probably go on for too long, but hey, these are my thoughts during the film as I wrote them down.
Hopefully not as long as Jason Takes Manhattan, which you'll find out in the next couple of videos.
Yep. That's a nice tease. Nice tease. All right. Lightning strikes, reviving Jason from the grave. Fist through the chest. James Bond type walk and slash to the camera. You ain't Dirty Harry. Now stop it. Spear jump kill. Jason doesn't accept cash. Terrifying school bus of kids. Camo paintballers with a woman's touch. Red smiley face of blood. Indian markers. Alcoholic in the woods. Camp blood card game. Bouncy sex in an RV. Alice Cooper rock out RV ride complete with bathroom wall bash and an ear piercing.
Alice
Hard
Cooper.
Rock summer. Blood splat cabin. Red Roach police report. Tommy Hot Lips is way out of jail.
Tommy Hot Lips.
Bulletproof Jason. Another canoe, this time with a boulder. Police dad snapped backwards. Lake on fire. Tommy on the flotation device. Propeller to the face. And that was it. That was my rundown. That was my thoughts. So now let's hear from you, Paul. The official rundown, the totals, and
here we go. The totals for Jason 6, Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. Okay, so we have 16 dead bodies, 1 dead, undead body, or known officially as a zombie, 1 metal fence impalement, face-eating worms and maggots, corpse staking, repeated metal fence impalement, fist through the chest with heart ripped out, teen shish kebab, head impalement in the mud, ripped off arm, face bashed against a tree, a threesome slicing, which I loved, face through an RV wall, head crushing, 1 car impalement, metal spike impalement, not 1, not 2, but 3 decapitations on this one, with 1 head twister, propeller slicing, back breaking, stabbing through the head, girl thrown through window, and gratuitous James Bond title sequence, and the obligatory American Express card.
Perfect. I mean, that really summed it up. Overall, I think for me, this was my favorite of the sequels so far. I really had a good time with this. And I think the movie has a good time with itself, being the self-aware humor. I love the edit. The pacing was a lot faster on this one compared to the one prior. And they just had a lot more blood and humor and creativity behind the kills. I really had a good time with Jason Lives.
Yeah, now I always confuse 6 and 7. And because there's kills in 6 that I always thought was in 7. And so every time somebody asks me what's my favorite, I always say 7. But then when I rewatch, I'm like, no, wait, 6 has these kills. So I would say 4 and 6 are my favorite overall. Because you can't go wrong with Crispin Glover dancing. I mean,
right?
That's a cherry on top.
I would say 4 has like the best like characters campers, I guess we'll call them campers, and then I think 6 has a better use of Jason. Like I feel like they figure something out with the supernatural aspect. In the way because he comes back and he has like these supernatural powers just from the dead. I mean, that intro is so great, and it's like a Fulci intro.
Yeah,
I really felt like had some Fulci inspired zombie type thing going on. It was great.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't know what to do, so I can just see it, and I can imagine the writing room just be like, well, what do we do? How do we do this? We can't just kill Jason again or hurt him because we did that last 5 times. Well, let's make him a zombie. Then he's unstoppable and you can't kill him. And so, yeah, that was a good choice, I thought, to bring him back to life as a zombie. And and so it's like I wrote down here, I said, and we're back to the way we love Jason and the way he should be. And this time, nothing can kill him because now he's a zombie Jason. So
Exactly.
one downside of this though is I think it's the only Friday 13th movie with no nudity. I didn't see. Did you? I
I
didn't
didn't
notice
even
any.
notice. Yeah, I didn't even know. I mean, yeah, not even an RV scene. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think there was anything.
yeah, because there's a scene where they're making out, having sex in the RV, and she has her top on, and so yeah,
It's true.
there's no nudity in this one.
It's true.
Um, and I thought that was interesting, so I looked it up, and it says that the director Tom McLaughlin didn't want any nudity, where he wanted to focus more on Jason and the kills and the slasher aspect rather than nudity,
Yeah.
because it says he felt like the fifth one felt more more like a softcore porn than it was a
Yeah.
slasher movie, which is true. And excuse me. And as I said in our fifth review, that's what the producer felt as well, and that's why he trimmed a lot of it down. But yeah, um,
Now, this was a comedic, mostly comedic director, right? If I remember, he was kind of mostly for his dark comedies
yeah,
coming into this, and so there wasn't much of like a script in this one as well, or do you know?
yeah. I think a lot of it was just. I think with all these movies, they kind of just have the principal idea of what they want to do, and then they just, of course, they have a script, but I don't know how finished it was, or you know, you have to have a. I don't know if it was actually it's locked, but not locked. I mean, it's
Yeah.
locked, if you know what I mean. So to begin production, but I think basically it just feels like, yeah, we got the principal idea what we want to do, and they throw away the script, and because some of the best kills, like in 4, were
Hmm.
all completely improvised,
Yeah.
and I feel like that the same was here with 6. That some of the great kills were improvised and not written out, because I can't see. I don't know. I don't know if can you see. Can you imagine thinking about, okay, you want to kill the teens in the van, but pushing her face into the wall where it leaves an imprint in the van, which I want to talk about a little bit more later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That has to be improvised. That has to be on the
I
spot. I
agree.
don't see how that could have been written in like that. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Well, we can talk about it now because that was probably my favorite sequence was the
yeah,
RV part where just having Jason in motion on a moving vehicle. It was a lot of fun. And
yeah,
then to end it with that like face kill that was it's sort of like it reminded me of Terminator 2 or Videodrome
yeah,
type
yeah.
effect.
Yeah, and from what I understand is it was almost a homage to Nightmare on Elm Street in the first one,
Oh
where
yeah.
when the face comes out of the wall, and they did that as kind of a homage to Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, I mean, out of all the Friday 13th movies, because I've seen them all, that kill, which I'm going to say now is my favorite kill of the movie, where he smashes her face through the
Hmm.
wall of the and leaves the imprint of her face. That is the one kill that always has been imprinted on my brain, and my favorite kill of all the movies. I don't know what it is about that. I just love that kill, and I've always wanted to and tried to copy that kind of kill in my own
Hmm.
movies, but I've just never. I just either I didn't call for it, or I just never really achieved the. Like I remember once I filmed it, but it didn't work out. I just can't get it right. Um, but after watching it again, it's like I wanna find a way to do that.
Is there any
Um,
like behind the scenes stuff that kind of gives you like hints on how they pulled it off?
I really haven't seen that. I mean, obviously it's not metal.
Right.
It's probably some kind of latex or foam or something that they do, and then of course adding in the sound effects of the metal makes it seem real.
Definitely.
Um, but that's like Nightmare on Elm Street, how they did the face through the wall. I think they said that basically they just what was it? They put like a almost like a gel sheet kind of thing over the wall, and he was able to push through the wall. Or latex is what they use, like a latex sheet type
Oh,
thing.
so you could stretch it, I guess.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense,
it
actually.
stretches. So that might be what they used. I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I can't remember any behind the scenes of that scene. I'm not sure. I didn't look this up. Was I think Tom Savini was on this one as well.
Not sure. Let me check
I'm not
real
sure,
quick.
but yeah, I mean, this was also the lowest grossing Friday 13th movie at the time. And I think,
That really surprised me.
Well, I think it's because 5 hurt it so much. Because you had 4 energetic, all these awesome kills. You're ready for another one, and you go in there and you're like, this isn't what I came for. With Friday 13 Part 5. And so I think that people just kind of like, well, if 5 was that bad, I don't want to go see 6. You know?
Yeah, I don't see Savini in here.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, and that's same attitude towards sequels even holds up today. I mean, I hear people all the time saying, well, I didn't like the second one, so I'm not going to go see the third one. Well, you know,
yeah.
A lot of times they realize the sequel sucked and then they up their game for the third one.
And they released like Friday the 13th movies every year. So I'm sure that was exhausting too.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, give us a break. Kind of like when they were trying to put out all the Star Wars movies once a year. It was kind of like, oh, yeah, give us Marvel movies now. What was it, like 5 came out in a year?
Yeah.
It's like, give us a break. That's insane. But so that could be it too. Slasher fatigue. Jason fatigue. But this is also not just the lowest grossing one, but it's also the shortest out of the franchise. An hour and 25 or 26 minutes. And
I really like that though. I like that it was shorter.
Because that's the same, because I think 4 was the second shortest. And it's good to keep those nice and tight, nice and short, because you know where my mind's going when I say that, didn't you?
There's just not enough character development too for the franchise. You know, Jason doesn't talk. You know, there's not much really more to build on his stuff. It's more about the kills.
And when you have it under, you know, an hour and 30, hour and 25, keeps it nice and short. And
there it is again.
Well, I skipped out nice and tight.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, and I will keep it nice and tight so you can feel it. That's what I was originally going to say. Keep it nice and short, so it doesn't drag on. Because you haven't watched 8 yet, but 8 drags on,
right? And
it's the longest running of the franchise, and you'll see. You keep it at.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I was really excited though, because that poster is so cool.
And I love the poster.
All the posters are really cool. Even this one was really nice with the shadows coming through the hockey mask.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the James Bond homage?
I always laugh at it.
Me too. That's what I did.
Every time I see it, I always laugh at it. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite opening, but I can see
that would have worked better in 3D. You would think they'd probably put that something. In the third one, but
that's true. I think that you're right. That opening would have fit better for number 3. But I mean, then again, it's like, you know what you're going for, because you're not taken seriously. They know what type of movie they're making, and so the intro reflects that. This is what you're in for, kind of a goofy.
Yeah, some of the characters breaking the fourth wall in this one.
Yeah,
it felt like maybe it was ahead of its time as well. I don't know if people were into the fourth wall breaking in the 80s.
I've always liked fourth wall breaking.
Ferris Bueller did it. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing. If you do it subtly and only do it once or twice, it's okay. But when you're doing it throughout the whole movie, then it becomes. So it's kind of like we discussed this on another movie we talked about a long time ago, but now I don't remember which one it was. But there was a movie where like a bad guy gives a little wink to the camera, and not in a Friday 13th movie, but in a different movie. And that's the kind of stuff I kind of like, is little things like that.
It might have been Brimstone. It might have been the infamous Brimstone. I'm not sure though. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Brimstone. It was something else. I can't remember. Anyways, what's funny too is I'm always doing research before we do these videos, and I knew about this before, but it's not, Friday the 13th isn't exactly a movie franchise that you ponder over and keep keep it in your brain. So I always look it up, and I knew this before, but it's interesting because the original script alluded towards Jason's father.
Oh, okay.
And which I thought was interesting, because in the script they have Jason's father visits Jason's grave, and in the movie talks about Jason. and then he confronts him at the end. And they scrapped it, and it was never filmed. But I think that would have been cool to put the father aspect on it.
I do too, yeah.
So it makes me, I mean, why do you think they may have scrapped that idea?
Maybe they wanted it to be separate from like the mom thing, like another sibling. Maybe they wanted to try something different.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been something different, you know, having the other relative, because we do kind of. I never thought of it, but I mean, I guess he has to have a dad, right?
Yeah, 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 and I don't know. It could be that, or it could be, you know, they thought it would take up too much time, and
Yeah.
you know, you just want to get this going and get to the stuff the audience is actually there for, and so I don't know, but I think it would have been great if they alluded to his father. I think they do. They, because like, if I remember right, I think they kind of
Maybe briefly,
really subtly allude to his father, but I think it might be Jason 9, Jason Goes to Hell, where they talk about his dad. But
you mentioned like taking this, like pondering the franchise, you know, that's the approach I came into it as. Now I'm like, okay, I understand what it's about. You were right. You got to turn your brain off.
Yeah. You can't exactly take these
track.
seriously.
Tried to keep track of every name, and I was like,
no.
But none of these guys are likable. There's just one beat. They're not really any kind of character development.
Well, they're only there for one thing. That's for Jason to kill, and us to enjoy him watching him kill.
Exactly.
And like I said from the very beginning of the first video, when you mentioned the name, I'm like, I don't remember. You don't want to keep track of names in movies like this. Yeah, I mean, but it's just the movie's funny too, because it's like, why is there even a grave and a tombstone for Jason? Like, why even bother? I mean, we know why, because of the lightning bolt coming down to wake him up. But still, it's like, why you kill this killer, and you're gonna put a tombstone in a grave there that anybody can find? I just
and Tommy like bringing his mask back to Jason is just like, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, why are you doing that? Because like we said in the fifth one, Tommy was supposed to be the new Jason.
That's right.
In the upcoming sequels, and then they scrapped that idea. So I guess he was just kind of like bringing Jason's mask back to him to close the book on him. You know, kind of have some closure. But
gosh, I feel like Halloween just recently tried that too with Halloween Ends to try to pass on the.
With that,
as crappy as that movie was, but it's just
with that one kid that.
Yeah, the one kid.
Yeah,
but, yeah. I think it's one of the better sequels, though, like we said, and I had a good time, and I love the Alice Cooper music, and it's very much MTV as well. You know, at its time.
This was definitely the height of MTV. I think this was 80. Was it 86? Yeah, 86, 80. Yeah, so it was definitely the height of MTV, and they definitely played on that. I loved it though when before it goes to the title card, where Jason just turns around, holding the fence spike, and then it does all these jump cuts going closer and closer and closer to his face till it gets to his eye, and then he does a superimposed figure of Jason walking and slicing it. I think that was cool. That was cool. The music though, what do you think of the music? Because it was different than the previous movies.
Yeah. It was more, you know, like I think they have 3 Alice Cooper songs, which is fine. I think maybe they were trying to go for record sales too, or mass appeal. Obviously, it didn't work with the box office numbers anyway. Yeah, it didn't feel as serious, I guess. You know, it didn't feel as epic.
Yeah. I mean, because even though there was still some score, like some strings, and I think he did most of it with the synthesizer anyways, but it sounded like strings, like almost an orchestra. But I thought this sounded too much like a pop synth score than a horror synth score, and that I didn't really care for. I think the movie's goofy enough that I think if they had a straight horror score like the previous movies, it would have worked even better.
I think so too. I think you should re-edit it and take
I'll do that.
Miami
I'll do
Vice
that for
out of
sure.
it and,
Oh yeah,
and inject your.
I'll spend all the time and money and everything.
And then we'll pray that you don't get caught. So
I'll just do it for myself because I can't post it anywhere. So I'll just be in my bed watching on my phone. I'm a goddamn genius.
It exists. I was right.
And no one believes me.
I would.
It's funny though because like in the police station, I love the dialogue. It's like, I have no time for this BS. You know, it's just...
Yeah, that character's actually had some really funny lines.
Yeah,
he's the one that says the dirty Harry line.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I love it too when he just Tommy walks in and he's and he's all hyped up, you know, all scared, ready to go, and the police guys are trying to stop him. He's just like, I don't have time for this BS, and he walks over to just an open arms cabinet, weaponry cabinet with rifles there, just wide open, not even locked, and he grabs a rifle and walks away. This is funny, but then again, go movies like this, that's what you have to do. Just, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, there's a couple of things here. What? Let's talk about the paintball crew. What do you think of that?
Yes. Oh, that was the paintball with women's touch. Paintballers with a woman's touch. So there's like the one woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just goofy. You know, it was kind of fun. Paintball, I would imagine, was kind of a big thing then.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the whole paintball crew scene is goofy all the way around.
For sure.
mean, and they laid into it. They completely laid into it because when Jason smashes that one guy,
smiley face,
the wall, and then it has the paintballs, smiley face,
yeah,
or his blood is smiley face. I don't know, but they knew what movie they were making. They were laying into it. But it could have worked without them as well. You didn't need them, but you need the extra kills. Like
body count.
I've always heard with these type of movies, there's the biggest requirement is you have to have a kill like every, 10 minutes or something like that. And
I think this one, pace wise, it does keep to that pace. I feel like, and some of the other sequels don't, but this one really, I think you're right because it kept my attention because the kills were consistent.
Yeah,
you didn't have a lot of downtime, playing cards or whatever, and
it was different than just killing, horny teenagers that are in the woods. So it works. But at the same time, it's kind of like you don't need it, but it still works. And it's still great fun. I love it, too, the scene with the camp counselors where they stop in the middle of the woods and she sees Jason in the distance. And she's like, I've seen enough horror movies to know this doesn't end well. Let's
the self-awareness again. Yeah.
You know who that actor was that played her boyfriend?
I don't.
Tony Goldwyn. I don't know if you know. Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff. He was the bad guy in the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
I haven't seen it.
What the hell's wrong with you, man?
I know, right? Classic.
He was in. He played in. Was it 19? He played in a western. I keep thinking it was either 1883 or 1924. He played one of the bad guys. No. He played in Hell on Wheels. Have you seen that show?
I've seen, but it's been a while.
He played a bad guy on that.
Okay.
So
I probably recognize him. He's character actor, sounds like.
Yeah, I was going to say he's one of those character actors, just like in everything. But it's interesting. Complete side point, has absolutely nothing to do with this movie. But Tony Goldwyn is actually I think the great grandson of Goldwyn of MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Wow.
He's actually his I think it's great grandson or grandson. So
wow. Some royalty.
So just a little nerdy side point there.
That's good. That's a good find.
Yeah, I love it too because this is also the first time Jason's actually shot. So Tony Goldwyn pulls out a gun. He's like, "Hold it right there," and starts shooting him. And it doesn't end well for him. But
No, it
that's
doesn't.
also the infamous scene where the girl tries to bribe Jason with money. It's just hilarious.
He only takes cards.
That's just hilarious. So yeah, again, I think it's funny and it's entertaining. I do think they leaned into the comedy just a little too much, make it a little too goofy. Where 4, it was fun and goofy, but they did it they played it more straight, which I liked better. But still, it worked.
Coming off 5, though, this was a breath of fresh air.
Oh yeah, 100%. But the kids, though, what do you think of the kids? There's like a whole cabin full of kids.
Again, I was wondering, like, is Jason gonna murder all these kids? It was okay. Like I said, he didn't really need them.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest complaint of this movie is the kids. I hated the kids. I always hate the kids. I wish they would have all died, but they didn't. I'm just like, oh, too bad no one dies. But from looking this up, that was a request from the director Tom McLaughlin, is that he said, "I'll do this movie if none of the kids die," which is why would you do that? So it's probably why they put in. I'm thinking about it, it's probably why they put in the paintball crew, kind of make up for.
That's true. Yeah,
extra kills.
Make up for the body count. You can kill the adults, but not the kids.
Yeah. And then you mentioned in your totals the room covered in blood. I love that scene where she opens it up and the room is just covered in blood, and it makes me think that he did kill all the kids.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, but I love the shot where she opens up the door and you see the horror on her face, and then it shows the room just covered in blood. I love that.
Blood splat cabin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing to point out, and then we'll probably wrap this up, is at the ending when they set Jason on fire. That's something you do not see today. This was real fire,
practical. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I really appreciate about really all of these on some level is practical effects are great, no matter even if the movie's really terrible, whether it's Tom Savini doing it or somebody else. But it's just having somebody lit on fire like that, you don't see that anymore.
Oh yeah, or if you do, it's CG, and you can tell it's CG.
Yeah.
I don't know how much experience you have in visual effects of computer generated effects, but water and fire are the hardest things to get right.
Yeah.
And you can always tell when fire is CG.
For sure. I see it all the time on those CBS commercials and stuff, the like Fire Country. It's like all fake CGI fire. Like, it takes me out of it, man. I really like the real thing is always 100%. So much better.
So Tommy's dead. I mean, not Tommy's dead. Jason's dead. And Tommy throws the giant paper mache boulder into the water, dragging him down, chained to his neck. And then the ending, his eye opens back up.
Yeah, he doesn't actually die. He's just stuck.
Yeah.
Was my interpretation.
Can't get out.
Yeah.
And so Friday the 13th, part 6. Definitely one of the better ones, especially coming off of 5.
I agree.
Excuse me. I talked about how my favorite kill was pushing her face through the wall of the RV. But I think for the second is when Jason kills the sheriff by basically folding him in half, breaking his back in half.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Great.
Did you have a second favorite kill? Or
I agree with that one. Let's see, another one. The smiley face was great, as we talked about.
Yeah.
The spear jump kill was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
There's a lot of fun ones in this movie. I think if you combine maybe the characters from 4, the kills in 6, and the tone of the first one, you would have an awesome movie.
So it's like, so have the director of 4 direct 6, have the actors from 2 or 1 in part 6.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that they would have hired. I don't know if they offered the director 4 to do more of them, because I mean he started it off by laying into what Jason and these movies really are.
Yeah.
And then the director 5 screwed that up. And then this director brought it back. But like I said, personally, I think he leaned into it a little too
further.
much.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
further.
Yeah. But it's still great. And it's definitely, I think, definitely 2 or 3 of the, either number 2 or 3 or 4 of the best ones. Ranking them, 6 would be either my 3rd or 4th favorite one. So
okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll see where I rank the rest after I watch them. I'm really hopeful that they continue this tone into 7, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, guys, we want to hear from you out there. What did you guys think of Jason Friday 13th Part 6? Jason Lives. Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to follow Paul at Twinflix in the description below. And we'll catch you next Friday for Part 7, The New Blood.
The nude blood. All right, man. We'll see you guys later. I got to get a drink of water. My throat's all scratchy.
Okay.
Hang on.